The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
Today we prove that no one is above the law. No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same. Today we prove that no one is above the law. No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same. Today we prove that no one is above the law.
I want to welcome you to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. Today, we are going to talk about this OnlyFans page I'm finna start. Now, this message is for all you Masons out there in America. I want you to really pay attention to the garbage that's posing as Masons in Nashville. The garbage that's posing as Eastern Stars in Nashville. You see, I'm not going to play games with these people. They tried to take my life a year ago. These Masons in Nashville area are gang members. They're GDs, they're Crips, they're gang members. And they've invited their whole gang into Masonry. All year long I've been attacked online by Masons from everywhere when they don't even know what's going on down here in Nashville. They sent this young lady, her name is Tyria. She wanted me to call her T, but I knew it was a setup. She sent me these 2 sex videos trying to get me to meet her at a hotel in Kentucky. I knew it was a trap. My thing is, this whole year, everybody's talking about accountability. Accountability. But in this show, I'm going to show you how they treat these young ladies that are Eastern Stars. But they say I'm harsh to women. Let's get into the show.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
Explain this, Mr. Sit-down. Please explain this.
And did the forthcoming indictment have anything to do with that? Or was it just a coincidence?
Mister, let's go on and have the conversation.
I've just asked you whether or not it was a coincidence.
Had absolutely nothing to do with this. It's interesting that we're here about this money. Mr. Wade is used to women that, as he told me one time, the only thing a woman can do for him is make him a sandwich. We would have brutal arguments about the fact that I am your equal. I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion. And so there was tension always in our relationship, which is why I would give him his money back. I don't need anybody to foot my bills. The only man who's ever foot my bills completely is my daddy.
She brought her husband. Where's her husband? Oh, he's away. He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone.
What was apparently an open secret in South Carolina, new reporting from the Daily Mail alleges former governor and current GOP hopeful Nikki Haley had affairs with her communications consultant and a married lobbyist prior to becoming the Palmetto State's chief executive. 2 eyewitnesses, Will Fox and Larry Merchant, signed affidavits in 2010 alleging they had a sexual relationship with Haley before she went on to become governor. Haley has who claimed that this was basically done quite brazenly. This is a quote from the Daily Mail article. Multiple GOP insiders told DailyMail.com that they were intimately aware of Haley's infidelity as a South Carolina lawmaker, including tales of steamy liaisons in the back of her Cadillac SUV canoodling in her lover's laps at bars, and nights spent together in a Columbia, South Carolina duplex.
I'm going to pause this right here. First of all, I did a show a couple of weeks ago about how America has a whore problem. And I got a lot of pushback on that. People call it red pill. You know, people call it toxic masculinity. In reality, it's none of that. Women in this country have mental health issues. And it's bleeding over into our society. And I'm not just talking about the normal women on the streets. Fannie Willis sleeping around with a married man. Nikki Haley, who's running for president, husband is in the military, brazenly had an affair with 2 men in South Carolina. By the time she started working for the Trump campaign, all of that stuff got quieted down. Now you see this, this picture right here. This is the young lady who's an Eastern Star in Nashville. She told me her father was a big time Crip that's in the feds. They sent this girl to set me up at a hotel, and I went to the police. Okay, I went to the police, filed my report. I wanted to have her arrested so she can tell the police who sent her at me. But there are Masons inside the Nashville Metro Police Department that's feeding these gang members who claim in Masonry information. This particular video right here that you're watching, I got it blanked out for YouTube purposes. But this particular video right here is the first one she sent me. And after she gets done leaking out, she jumps up off the bed and you can see her face on the camera. Somebody must have called her because they was watching my phone and told her to put some kind of sticker over her face. So the next video that she sent me, she had a smiley face sticker on her face. These are the same people who got mad at me because I told a married man's whore, side piece, you can call her side piece, we'll do that. We're gonna keep it respectful. I told a married man's side piece, I don't do friend zones. You can keep it moving. She gets mad. He starts attacking me. And then Masons from everywhere starts attacking me. Online. They put hidden cameras in my truck. They wiretap my phone. And the wiretaps on my phone, I think that was done by some of their police buddies. A few months go by. Then she comes. They sent her. This is almost like prostitution. Think about that, people. This is almost like prostitution. They send a little young 29-year-old to get me to go to a hotel room, and she using every technique she can to entice me to meet up with her at a hotel in Kentucky. I take this information to the Nashville Metro Police Department. Just like when they tried to take my life at the Waffle House, they tried to ignore it. So I waited, got in contact with my lawyer. I called Metro Police Department to ask them what was going on with the case. The woman, I don't know if she was listening to somebody in the background telling her what to say, but she acted like she couldn't find my case. Then she heard my lawyer. She shuffled a couple of papers around, and then she said, "Oh, I found it. It doesn't look like they assigned anybody to this case." I said, "Lady, why are people on the internet who are Masons and Eastern Stars talking about this if they haven't found this young lady yet?" They're saying stuff like, "Why is he trying to ruin other people's lives?" So when I told this lady on the phone who works at the Nashville Police Department, when I told her that, she said, "Well, I got everything recorded. I record all my conversations on the phone." And when I confronted her with the fact that people are talking about this online, trying to shame me, she said, "Well, they might have said something to her that she probably told some of her friends. But y'all telling me y'all can't find her to press charges against her for sending me unwanted sex videos." I'm bringing this to the Masons across the country. I want y'all to look at the shit that's going on in Nashville. They tried to take my life over a married man's side piece. She's an Eastern Star now. Then they sent another Eastern Star with this sex tape, 2 sex tapes. She sent 3 videos. She sent the video of her and her son, because she got a little boy. She told me her name was Terry or something. You see, Eden Grand Chapter, which is the grand chapter of the female Eastern Stars in this area, in the Nashville area, they know who she is because she's one of them. So what I told my lawyer, since the police don't want to arrest her, I'm finna put these videos on OnlyFans. And I want all of the Masons across this country, I want y'all to get on there and see how they treating young Eastern Star sisters in Nashville. This is crazy. They attacked me. They attacked me for a year about disrespecting women. They attacked me for a year about accountability. Who's going to take accountability for this? You see, I was going to charge $5 for y'all to see this young Eastern Star sister masturbate on the screen. But I'm not going to charge $5. I'm going to charge $100. And the reason why I'm going to charge $100 is because any one of you can pay $5 and a whole bunch of you watch the tape at one time. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to charge $100. Now, if she want to, she could turn herself in to the, don't call my phone, none of you. Call the Nashville Metro Police and ask them about this young lady. Call them. They know how to get in contact with me. Call Nashville Metro Police and ask them, why haven't they arrested this young lady yet? Because this is what happens when a man does something like this to a woman. Send her a masturbation tape. They immediately go out and arrest him and charge him with all kinds of crap, because the woman is the victim. I'm not going to play no games. Somebody needs to take accountability for this. And like I said before, these Nashville Masons are really gang members. And half the Nashville Metro Police are dupes. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is how they're getting away with crimes in Nashville, because of the Nashville police. Some of them guys are Masons, feeding information back to these gang members posing as Masons. Cat Williams said it. Cat Williams said it. 2024, all lies will be exposed. Everything's coming out. And I ain't going to be scared. I ain't going to falter. If I get called to come to court about this shit right here, I'm going to step in there with my head high. I'm not going to play no games with it. Now, my lawyer told me the videos were sent to me. She ain't claimed them, even though she sent them. And her face is all on these videos. They my property. I can do what a minute I will. Now, if she steps forward and turns herself in and say, I don't want my videos on OnlyFans, that's on her. She's going to have to go downtown and handle that. Now, I'm finna push this to the side. I'm going to give y'all just a little more taste of this video. I'm not going to show her face on here, but I'm going to give y'all a little more taste of this video. Nashville OES Eastern Star. Nashville OES Eastern Star. Let's continue on.
Today we prove that no one is above the law. No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
You and Mr. Wade met in October 2019 at a conference?
That is correct. I think in one of your motions you tried to implicate I slept with him at that conference, which I find to be extremely offensive.
I'm going to stop that right there. Let's get to Fannie Willis. She's saying that she finds all of this extremely offensive. But why? She is a high-powered woman in a profession that not many women, let alone black women, reach. She's reached that level, but she's still running around like a thought. Now let me explain that. Women who reach a certain level in life have to start paying for the penis. Let me get this clear to you. men will have sex with you when you're a wealthy woman, a high-powered woman, but men don't want to be emasculated by a high-powered woman. So what happens is high-powered women like that have to pay for it. If any of y'all ever listened to the whole testimony that she gave, she was basically paying this dude to take her on trips, paying for the restaurant, the meals and stuff like that. You know, if you look at some of the red pill shows, they'll tell you that wealthy men don't want wealthy women, because wealthy men want a woman to be on his time, on his program. Wealthy women don't want a man that makes less than them, because they're not going to respect that man. So what happens is women like her, Fannie Willis, put herself in a box because she done reached so high in her career that she's not going to respect men that make less than her. She even said it in her testimony. Me and Mr. Willis, me and this guy are equals. I used to have to tell him all the time, we equals. You see, wealthy men don't want to put up with that. A wealthy man will go out here and find a woman working at McDonald's, as long as she's cute enough, and put her in his mansion. A wealthy woman won't do that. And that lies the problem. Let's continue on with this Fannie Willis stuff. This is interesting.
Have more than enough ample opportunity on when the state is
Well, it's
able to
highly
install
offensive
those.
when someone lies on you, and it's highly offensive when they try to implicate that you slept with somebody the first day you met with them, and I take exception to it.
All right.
Let's ask that
We can keep things moving. Ms.
Thank
Merchant,
you.
next question,
Thank you.
please.
Okay, so we've confirmed when you met. After that, isn't it true?
No, I need to explain this, and I think I get to explain my answers. When I met him, Judge Reeves introduced us. He handed me his business card. I'm unsure if I handed him my business card, but we exchanged information. He said, if you ever need any help, give me a call. And he walked to the parking lot.
So after that, you started dating shortly thereafter, correct?
A lie. That's one of your lies.
Okay. Do you know Robin Yurdy?
I know her as Robin Bryant. I knew her, so Robin did not go to my college. She went to the college of...
Now this is where Fannie Willis gets caught up. She didn't expect this. You can tell by her answer. She didn't expect this. One of her old friends told these people that she was messing with this man all the way back in 2019. And he was married then. She got caught off guard right here. You can tell by how she tried to distance herself from this woman.
I went to Howard University. She went to Morgan State. I met her through some people I knew. In college, we hung out a bit. Not much, because she was in Baltimore and I was in Washington, D.C. But we hung out a bit. After college, I lost contact with her. I probably didn't see Robin again until maybe 7 or 8 years ago. A chance meeting here in Atlanta. But we did not have a consistent relationship from when I left college and came to Emory Law School here in Atlanta. But 8 to 10 years ago, just by happenstance, I ran into her. So she was in Atlanta.
You have been friends with Robin for 30-something years.
Did you hear my answer, madam?
Yes, and I'm asking if you've been friends with her for 30-something years.
I've known her for 30-something years. We certainly hung out and partied together in college. She was from the D.C. area. She would come home and party together. Wasn't close, but she was certainly in the girlfriends that party together.
See, she's trying to distance herself. She's been knowing this woman for 30 years. And this woman told the truth. Like, shit, man, that woman been fucking that man. This is an interesting interview, but I'm going to get to some of the other stuff in here that I caught.
visited you at the place you laid your head.
So let's be clear, because you lied in this. Let me tell you which one you lied in. Right here. I think you lied right here. No. This is the truth,
Judge.
And it is a lie. It is a lie.
Through Cash App.
No,
The only money you've ever given him outside of a contract is cash.
I didn't give him money in a contract, so that was cute. But I didn't give him money outside in a contract. What happened? No, we gonna answer it since you.
All I'm going to say is, was it pre-indictment in this case?
So,
We know the timeline that the indictment was delivered.
and so that we're clear, the physical relationship ended pre-indictment.
And is that when you were talking about the tough conversation?
But I'm not sure that the tough conversation didn't happen until after, but the physical relationship, so I'm sure if you ask Mr. Wade, because he's a male, he would say we ended June or July.
Let me stop this. Let me stop this right here. You see how she dismissively, he's a male? This is a modern woman right here who's reached the higher levels of society. And this is a man she basically been paying for trips and fucking, who was married, and she still got disdain for this man, like she's better than him. This is crazy.
Then, just in my mind, being a woman, it's over when you have that like hard conversation. I just think women and men think differently.
And I think the answer, Mr. Sale, to your question
And I agree with her. We do.
was she's not sure whether it was before or after the indictment.
Well, I'm not sure that was her answer, but let's see if I can get specific.
That is what I said. That's what I said.
I'll let you. Next question, Mr. Sale. If you need to
Want to say one more? The romantic relationship ended before the indictment was returned. Yes or no?
To a man, yes.
Well, to a man, yes. To you, no.
She's explained this, Mr. Sale. She's explained this.
And did the forthcoming indictment have anything to do with that? Or was it just a coincidence?
Mr. Let's go on and have a conversation.
I just asked you whether or not it was a coincidence.
Had absolutely nothing to do with this. It's interesting that we're here about this money. Mr. Wade is used to women that, as he told me one time, the only thing a woman can do for him is make him a sandwich. We would have brutal arguments about the fact that I am your equal. I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion. And so...
Now... A man is a companion. This is what I don't like about the modern American woman. Okay? Since the beginning of time, it's been God, man, because man was made first. Woman was made to be his companion, then children. That's how it's always been. Here in America, things have gotten so twisted to the point where the women, not in all society, but mainly in black society, have been pushed over the men to where it's God, woman, man. Actually, man is at the bottom now. It's God, woman, children, because the woman is going to take her children over a man any day in America. Then the man. And I've even had males try to convince me of this. I've even had males in America try to tell me that the women are the creators and the women are the... I'm like, man, bro, we are the head of this food chain. And my way of thinking will get you banned. Will get you disbarred, will get you kicked out, will get you dismissed, will get you talked about. But it's destroying us as a people. Let's continue on with this craziness.
Oh, there was tension always in our relationship, which is why I would give him his...
The reason why there was tension in their relationship, because she didn't want to play the role of his companion. And the reason why is because she is over him as far as the district attorney's office goes. I had to tell a woman that I tried to date. Me and her talked on the phone for almost 2 hours. And she works at Goodyear or something like that. And she's an older woman, but she still looks good. And I had to tell her that she's going to have to date down. Now, I don't know if she received that message or not. This woman has 2 nice cars, house full of furniture paid for. I mean, she's doing very good for herself. But once she retires and jumps back out here trying to find her a man to live the rest of her life with, she's not going to follow him. Number one, she's not going to find a wealthy man. She might find a wealthy man to blow her back out, but she's not going to find a wealthy man that's going to wife her. She's going to have to date down, because a man that makes more than her is not going to want to put up with this, what Fannie Willis is doing. You know, telling this man just because, you know, she's the head district attorney and he's just a worker under him. Yeah, we might be fucking, but I'm your equal. That man ain't trying to hear this. Let's continue on.
Money back. I don't need anybody to foot my bills. The only man who's ever foot my bills completely is my daddy.
Yeah. Fannie Willis, folks. I hope she don't get kicked off the case, because like Letitia James, I hope she does prosecute Donald Trump. But this is bad, people. This is bad. This is a prime example of what's going on in this country.
It is impossible to answer with a straight yes, right? Because Americans understand that there are a range of threats and challenges in the world. I'm confident that President Biden, in the decisions that he is taking, is going to ensure the security of the American people going forward.
A top House Democrat is urging calm.
There's really no cause for panic or alarm around this particular piece of intelligence.
Now let's move on to the next story. This story is one of the first stories that I did when I first started my podcast, okay? And I went back and found the footage of that podcast. And this is for all my military people out there who done served in the military or who is serving in the military. There were some rockets when Donald Trump was president fired off the coast of California. Nobody talked about it, but me. I always tell people, when I get mad, sometimes I have tunnel vision. That's one of my flaws. Everybody has flaws. So when I get mad, I have tunnel vision. But after I calm down, my vision goes like this. It widens out and I can see patterns. I told you 4 years ago, people, 4 years ago, I told you Donald Trump fired those missiles off the coast of California, breaking a treaty. I told you this. I don't think anybody even paid attention to it because nobody watches. I got about 3,000 viewers, but that's not enough. Now we're starting to see why Donald Trump did what he did. You see, you got 2 types of ballistic missiles. You got the long-range ballistic nuclear missiles that go up into outer space, okay? And they come back down over your country and blow up and kill a lot of people. Then you have short-range ballistic missiles, which go straight from their country straight into America. Those ballistic missiles were banned. Okay? Those ballistic missiles were banned. Mikhail Gorbachev and Ronald Reagan banned those missiles for a reason. Because short-range ballistic missiles don't give your country time enough to evacuate cities. Long-range nuclear missiles go up into outer space, go around the world, and drops back down into the world over your country. It gives the people in your country at least 40 minutes to evacuate. It saves lives. People are still going to die, but it saves lives. Now, bring it up to today. Now, that was 4 years ago when I told you people about this. 4 years ago. Bring it up today. Russia is working on a new rocket that can knock out space satellites. What does that do? Once the space satellites are knocked out, it stops all communications. It stops radar, Google Maps, anything that you can communicate with shuts down. Now here's the key. Russia, since Donald Trump violated the treaty by shooting those rockets that he wasn't supposed to shoot off the coast of California, now Russia can start building short-range ballistic missiles. So what happens when long-range ballistic missiles in space knock out the satellites? They can launch short-range missiles straight to America, and we're not even going to be warned about it. I'm hoping I'm making sense to some people out there. I want you to listen to what I said 4 years ago. I learned reading newspapers and things like that from my father. And they hide a lot of things in newspapers because they feel like, hell, you ain't finna read it no way, you know. But we need to watch for this stuff. You see, last week there was a ballistic missile, a mid-range ballistic missile shot off the coast of California. Nobody's talking about this, people. And I hate the Trump bash. I already know what he's about. He's a racist. He's a bigot. You know, and he's a crook. He's a Russian stooge. But the problem is that this goes beyond racial issues. This goes beyond social issues that we Americans worry about. The man is a Russian stooge, and I'm finna show it to you in so many words. I'm finna give it to you, and it's up to you to read between the lines. Now my military people who are ex-military in the minority communities, y'all know the significance of this when I tell it to you. When I lay this out to you, you're going to be like, man, I didn't think he was on that. But I'm going to tell it to you. Now, mid-range ballistic missiles were outlawed back in the 80s by Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev. Now, they signed a treaty saying now the country, or the countries that signed this treaty, would mess with these mid-range ballistic missiles. All of the countries that have nuclear warheads have what you call long-range ballistic missiles. Now, what these long-range ballistic missiles do, they go up into the atmosphere, penetrate space, go around the globe, and drop down back into the atmosphere over your country and explode. Now, the difference is these missiles take 20 to 25 minutes to reach you in your own country. It gives your government time to warn their people to take shelter
and it gives the government time to shoot some of these rockets down. Okay? The mid-range missiles, the reason why they were so deadly is because it takes less time to get to you people. It's going up in the air and straight at your country. It's not going up into outer space and penetrating the atmosphere. These missiles are coming straight from the ground or the ship that it's on, and it's going to go straight towards your country. And the reason why Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev back in the 80s signed this agreement is because they knew that these weapons was too dangerous. Even if a nuclear war was to happen, you know, at least both sides can spare some of their people from total annihilation. Now, Vladimir Putin has been wanting to use these mid-range ballistic missiles for a long time, but his hands was tied because, like I said, they signed an agreement that neither country will produce these weapons or use them or even test them. It's over with. Last week, while everybody was sleeping, early in the morning off the beach, off the Long Beach, California, off the coast of Long Beach, California, on a little island out there, Donald Trump ordered the military to pull these weapons out of mothball and test fire. Now, the significance of that for my people in the military, I got family in the military. My daughter's there. She's over in South Korea right now. My mother was in there, and my stepfather, he was in the military for years. So I know about this stuff. The military test fired it out into the ocean. There's only one news channel that even picked this up, people, and that's Rachel Maddow. The only person I heard talk about this, and she talked about it for one session, and it was over with. And the significance behind this, people, is, like I said, Vladimir Putin's hands was tied. He can't use these weapons to attack countries around him, like Crimea and the Czechoslovakia and things like that. He can't use these weapons against them because his hands is tied. So when Donald Trump test fired that rocket last week, and it didn't show up in the news, what they did, believe me, Russia know it. Russia done recorded it, they know it. Russia can go back and start producing these weapons, these mid-range ballistic missiles again, because the United States broke the treaty first.
Tonight, this from the House Speaker.
I want to assure the American people there is no need for public alarm. Steady hands are at the wheel. We're working on it.
Two U.S. officials tell NBC News President Biden has been tracking the threat and directed his national security advisor to engage with top lawmakers, with a meeting already set for tomorrow. The U.S. has long been concerned about Russia's missile and nuclear capabilities, as well as its anti-satellite weapons systems.
I'm going to stop that right there. Now the chickens have come home to roost. That clip that I showed you was a show I did 4 years ago when I first got started with this podcast. Because I scanned the news, because like I say, my vision is like this when I'm seeing things happening. And I was scanning the news when I seen that Donald Trump had launched missiles off the coast of California that was banned. He broke the treaty first. So now Russia has an opportunity to start mass producing these missiles, these short-range, medium-range missiles, because Donald Trump, when he was president, broke the treaty first. Can't nobody blame this on Russia. Donald Trump is and always have been a Russian stooge. He's a very dangerous man. Very dangerous. I don't know what's going to come of this, but the American population need to be aware. And for those Trump supporters out here that keep fooling with this cat, this man is dangerous for America. And a lot of this deals with white supremacy. I'm not saying all Trump supporters are racist. You have black Trump supporters out here because they, in their mind, Trump is good for money, but they're not thinking it ain't gonna be no money if he destroys this country. Goofballs. This is crazy. Let's continue on.
And Peter, you also have new reporting this evening about President Biden's interview with the special counsel, Robert Hur.
Lester, President Biden became heated, you'll remember, responding to the special counsel's assertion that he could not remember within several years when his son Beau died. Last week, the president criticized her for asking him about it.
Hold on. This is interesting.
Before the Gang of Eight briefing that, according to National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, is scheduled for tomorrow.
Well, it's something that does obviously raise questions about what he was trying to accomplish by doing that. Obviously, it is a serious national security threat with the kind of information that's being reported. As to why he would get ahead of the briefings, and I know that the national security chief is going to be going up to the Hill, both with intelligence and Pentagon officials, to brief members of Congress on this important intelligence. It strikes me that what the chairman was trying to do perhaps was to try to send a wake-up call to both the speaker and his Republican colleagues that Russia still remains very much a threat to the United States.
Nobody's listening.
Anti-satellite technology. Obviously, any military force would try to knock out an opponent's satellites. What concerns you about this? What do you make of the little that's publicly available out there?
Well, we've been, I think, tracking this ever since I was both secretary and director of the CIA. We were concerned about China and their ability to use laser beams to basically, in some way, destabilize satellites or bring them down. This involves the possibility of nuclear weapons in space. It's a military capability, and using those nuclear weapons in space to basically either paralyze these satellites or bring them down.
Now, I'm finna end today's show. I think this was very important, people. Very important. And we need to pay attention with this election coming up. The Republican Party has basically become stooges of Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is in the pocket of Vladimir Putin. Make no mistake about it. When he shot them rockets off 4 years ago off the coast of California, Donald Trump already probably knew that Russia was working on satellite busters. I call them satellite busters. You know, bombs that'll go up in space and blow up a satellite. These satellite busters would knock out communications. Once the communications is knocked out, the mid-range missiles won't go into space and drop down in your country. They're coming straight to America without no warning. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't play them games. Not on my show, not in real life. I see things like I can see it. Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin is a very dangerous man. Donald Trump is a dangerous man, but he's a goofball. And this is the man that the Republican Party has placed at the head of their party. I'm going to end this show with Letitia James and what she said.
Crime. When the powerful break the law and take more than their fair share, there are fewer resources available for working people. small businesses, and families. And everyday Americans cannot lie to a bank about how much money they have in order to get a mortgage to buy a home, or a loan to keep their business afloat, or to send their child to college. And if they did, our government would throw the book at them, and for flouting the rules that all of us must play by. Because there cannot be different rules for different people in this country, and former presidents are no exception.
Let's go for you Masons too.
This decision is a massive victory for every American who believes in that simple but fundamental pillar of our democracy, that the rule of law applies to all of us, equally, fairly, and justly.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
The business, motherfucker.
The